What up, y'all? KeaToSuccess here. We're going to talk about the topic of, is it the bad time to get into the trucking industry in 2023? Excuse me. I see a lot of stuff throughout social media, one way or another. Just pretty much some people are getting out of it. I see a lot of equipment actually on sale. People are selling their stuff, which is weird. I would say just because if you're not paying attention or really looking like I am, but I steady look at the used truck market a lot, trailer market, reefer in general, and maybe a little bit dry van, but pretty much just tractors and the reefer trailers. And see, I've been watching pretty much when I got my truck in end of May. I pretty much just keep a lookout and see where I got it, because I got my truck at 42,000 with 980-some thousand miles on it. Yes, I got it with a lot of miles on it, but I'm with a good company and they're gonna keep me on the road. And this truck's been doing, for the most, fairly decent to me. It's had its issues, and I've been going through my battles with it, but it's been good, as y'all can see in a rental. But check out my other video about that. But yeah, I've been watching it. So this 2014 Freightliner Cascadia is what I got at 42,000, almost a million miles on it. Now I'm seeing the prices of where my truck's at, or a million mile truck 2014. I'm seeing the price at about, I've seen some around 35,000. So it's, what's that, $7,000 difference? Some even lower. I'm seeing like 2018s, they're not at 100, and people ain't selling 2018 Freightliners for 120,000. They're selling it for 80, 90 now. Trailers aren't selling for an arm and a leg either. I've been seeing it come down slowly, and it seems like more people are selling than before. I'm pretty sure that's due to the high fuel cost. Rates are going down, and overall, it is a bad time in the trucking industry, 100%. I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're not someone who has any dedicated freight or shippers or contacts, and you're running off load boards, it's gonna be pretty tough. Because as y'all know, a lot of time load boards are where those are the scraps of what they couldn't get done on their dedicated stuff. Simple as that. Load boards are scraps. Yeah, you can get good stuff on there, but do you want to live off the load board? I personally wouldn't. And that's why I'm at that's why I'm with the company that I'm with. But no, I wouldn't live off load boards 100%. That had to be like, if I had a company or a couple trucks, that'd be like maybe 10 to 20% of my income or my work. The rest would have to be somewhere else. But yeah. So, as you can see, it's a tough time in the industry, 100%. But I wouldn't shy away from it. As like I said, prices are going down on these equipment, and what did Warren Buffett say? He says something of the sort, like basically, when everyone is going away from it, you need to go into it. Basically, I'll sum it up at that. I don't know the exact quote, but pretty much, when everyone else is running away and it's red, you go in. Don't go in when it's all green and nice and everyone else is jumping in. That's when you don't really get in, which is what a lot of people did pre and post pandemic. Everyone was jumping in the trucking game, boom, boom, buying trucks. They were great prices. All the prices, but all the low rates, all the rates were skyrocketing through the roof. I was watching the video. He's like, there's like 10,000 more trucks or more owner-ops or something like that on the road versus what it normally is. I had to recheck the video. Excuse me on that. But pretty much said it's an oversaturated market, and people and owner-operators that jumped in between 2020 and now, or between 2020 2021. And a lot of those guys are jumping out because they do not know how to navigate this tough market. Or didn't know that the trucking industry is a 2 to 3 year business, as far as it's good times and bad times. So for 2 or 3 years the market is great, the next 2 or 3 years market's bad, and it's just a continuous cycle. And that's with like anything. And that's just like how this recession that we're in. I wouldn't even put quotes. We are in a recession, technically by the terms and definitions, unless you listen to the government and they change that. But pretty much it's an uphill, downhill. This market you got to navigate. And if you jumped in at the greatest time possible and you really didn't have to scheme and figure out what you're doing, you're gonna have a tough time, like all these people are, navigating this tough time. It's not much to say about it. If you got in it when it's all greens and roses and you didn't really know what you were doing, and you're just like, oh, I can just hop on this low board and catch this low for 5 G's, 8 G's, 10 G's. But now you do that, you might be running yourself out of business, because you should have learned between that time is try to get dedicated freight, build relationships, not just jump at everything you see, because that's going to put you out of business 100%. And that's why all these lows are fucked up. Excuse me. You got people who are pulling cheap freight, and the brokers, dispatchers, or whatever y'all want to call it, are getting away with it. Because the experienced people, or people who know, is like, I can't move that. That's not going to pay for my fuel. It's not going to pay for, if you got a driver, it's not going to pay for my driver. It's not going to pay for just the maintenance per mile. And just all the other expenses. If you're people, you don't want to wash your money. You're spending, you get this load for $3,000 that should probably be 5 or 6, but you're taking it at 3, but you know you're probably only gonna not even gonna make money on it. You're just washing the money. You spend it to make it, and you know what's the point in that? You're gonna drive yourself crazy, stress yourself out, and you might as well just sit your truck and go do something else. Quite honestly, yeah, you might have the truck note, but I'm sure you probably can make some more money or do something different for the time being to pay that. At least you're not having to pay for fuel, maintenance, or nothing like that. The truck's just sitting. You just have to pay for the payment. But not to ramble on. Excuse me. But yeah, I think it's, if you're someone who can persevere and go through this tough time and really get educated on the industry, and that's where a lot of people fail, is you have to get educated and do your due diligence and look up stuff. Start doing your research, figuring things out. Where are the best places to get your freight from? Where can I get this dedicated freight from? And whatnot. And just reach out to people. And don't be afraid of that. Talk to people. Tell them what you offer, what you can offer, and how you move and maneuver. They may do it, they may take it, and you go from there and just build that relationship. I think a lot of these places are always open ears. They're not just cut off and like, oh, that's my company, I use them. They're shopping around 100%, especially if they're fucking up. They're shopping around. But yeah, first of all, do your research. As goes for anything that you're doing in life, or any ventures you're doing, do your research before you hop in it. Even as a company driver, do your research. Right now, company drivers are doing great, as far as I can tell. You can end up making $100,000 within your first year, less than 7 months or something. Get your experience in, and then transfer it, get to another place that pays better. So company drivers are in a real good time. So I believe that. You may have to be away from home. I don't know if a lot of guys aren't ready for that or don't want to do that. I understand, completely understand. But hey, trucking is a great industry that doesn't require a lot of overhead or anything like that, as far as without you owning equipment. So I say definitely jump in if you're going to be a company guy. Make the money while you can, while you can demand all these high numbers, $2,500 a week more, versus some places are they're only paying $1,000, $1,300. Like, what's that? stay working at Walmart or a warehouse or something. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth to get your CDL and get paid pennies. Like, you gotta legit go to school, pay this money and whatnot. If you do pay, or have another company pay. Either way, you're paying it one way or another, whether someone fronts it or not. You're paying for it. But yeah, company guys, they're making money, so definitely a great time to still jump in. Now, owner operator, do your research. Find these places and contracts. Find what you need to, what rates you need to operate at. Figure out the fuel costs. You got to be very, very, very decisive where you get your fuel. Just don't get your fuel from anywhere. You got to plan it. If you got to go out your way to get something that's 20 cents cheaper, I say do it. Whatever. May take you extra 20 minutes, but that's saving you a couple $100. $100 a day. If you're working, every day, that's $700 you done saved out the week. That's money that you would otherwise be wasted. You can save that, push that towards something else, maintenance, whatever comes up, So that's where you want. That's your biggest expense, anyways. It's going to be your fuel, other than expenses. So yes, find these apps. Mudflap, was it Trucker Path has their little thing going on. There's some other stuff, or build a relationship with a fuel company. They might put you on, and you can get discounted fuel, whatever area you were in. So that's for sure. I've heard that. What else? It all just comes down to a plan and what you got to do. I definitely 100% say get into trucking in 2023, 2022, 2023. Just be advised and be ready to weather the storm. Get through all the ways, the ups and downs, and I promise you're gonna come out on top. Better than all these other companies that got in when it was green. You got it when it's going down. People are gonna look at you like, damn, Keanu, you got into the trucking industry. I'm hearing this bad stuff that you're not making no money. This, that. Don't mind them, no business. They don't even know what they talking about. And even if it is an owner operator talking about that, or it's another truck, company guy talking about that, it's you. What you want to do. If you're like me, it's about business, and about the future of myself and my family, and all of that stuff. So that's what drives me. So I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go make it happen, and that's just what it is. And I think a lot of people who are owner operators are just like that. They're not in it for just shits and giggles. They definitely did their research, and the ones who are surviving did their research, and you can tell. So, yeah, my opinion, don't take my word from it, y'all, but definitely get in right now. Get in right now, because you won't regret it, because you're going to go through all the tough times before anything else, and you're going to learn from it, and you're going to come out better and stronger than what you were before. Versus, you getting hand-fed like all these people who got it before. Boom, you just make it. They just making money, and a lot of people ain't smart with their money. They making all this money. They went to go buy that fancy new car, got them a nice house or apartment, bought the nice little trip they got on, a chain, or whatever people buy, whatever y'all buy. And I ain't opposed to it. I ain't wrong. I ain't hating on you about it, but you gotta be smart about it. If you're spending more money on all that stuff versus saving for these rainy days, because that's what you got to do. As far as being a owner, you got to save for rainy days. Yeah, you could spend your money, but just be smart about it. I ain't saying you can't go buy a nice cool trip, nice chain, or earrings, or clothes. Like, yeah, spend it. You just know how much you can spend, when you can spend, and how that's all gonna work. Because if you're spending more than what you're spending more on all this stuff than saving, then you're gonna be like these guys running and selling their trucks and everything while they can. So yeah, y'all, that's just my advice. Get in the industry now, because you're gonna go through the bumps and bruises way before anybody else. And when everything's good and golden, you're really gonna be on top of the game. And then when everything goes back to shit again, you still gonna be on top of the game, because you already made them relationships. You already been through this process already. And the next time around, you're gonna be way more equipped to do what you need to do. And but that's the video for today, y'all. I'm out of here. Deuces.